Good afternoon, you two. Today I felt like talking about living in your heart versus living in your brain, in your mind. And some of you might not know what that is. Some of you might practice living in your heart, being present. And I will explain it a little bit to the best of my ability, using examples that I've gone through myself and still do. For me, when I'm living in my heart, from my heart, like I am right now, I have no anxiety. I have no thoughts of the past or future. I'm just here now. I can feel my feet on the ground. I feel my body. I don't know what I'm going to say next. It just comes out, and I'm trusting that. Versus when I'm in my mind, I can either be in the future, which I tend to do more often of, or in the past. In the past, ruminating about stuff I should have said or should have done differently. Or if I'm in the future, it's normally stuff of planning. I tend to plan stuff out, especially if I have a busy day. My mind just goes on this loop, repeating things over and over of what I'm going to do, at what time, and when I'm going to finish. And it's exhausting. And I can tell when that's happening because I start to get a pain. It's always right here. Like when it starts, I'm like, oh, I've been thinking. It's already too late. I've already been thinking for too long. And it just gets to be this tension right here. And I need to take a step back and ground myself, whether that's meditating, taking a few deep breaths, just reminding myself that nothing, absolutely nothing, is more important than you being present. You know, in the past, way back when we used to run away from animals that were going to eat us, that's when that anxiety and adrenaline and high cortisol was needed to escape that predator. But today there is no longer a threat, and we still continue to live in that fight or flight mode because it's normal for us. It's what is familiar. And so teaching your body to live in your parasympathetic nervous system, to rest most of the day, which is what's needed, it can be very challenging, and I still struggle with it. I'm getting much better, and it's something that just creates so much more peace in your life. And if you don't believe me, give it a try. I meditate in the morning and at night. I would say 90% of the time. Sometimes I'm too tired or something happens in the morning and I start my day, but I can tell you the days that I skip it, my day is a little more chaotic. My mind is a little bit all over the place because I didn't give myself that head start, that baseline of calm and peace. And another thing I also do throughout the day, it's called pausing. You know, and this is great because it doesn't take a lot of time. You can set a timer in your phone for every half an hour, every 10 minutes, every hour. And whenever the alarm goes off, you just take a breath, a deep breath, 2-3 breaths, until you start to feel a little calmer, and then you say something positive about yourself, about somebody else, and set an intention, whatever it is. You can say, I feel loved, I am safe, today's a great day, I love these people, I love this place. Just something that breaks up your loop of thinking or negative thinking. And then the more you do that pausing, the more I find for me that I'm just doing it naturally throughout the day, because it feels so good to just take a step back and give yourself a minute, because you don't need to constantly be going all the time. And I am very bad for that at times when I want to get a job done or want to get work done. And then I start to feel it in my body, and then I say, is that worth it? Was that worth it, hurting my body that way just to constantly be going and not taking a break? A good friend of mine says and reminds me all the time, we are human beings, not human doings. We came here just to be and to experience and enjoy life. So for me, the pausing and the meditating are extremely helpful to be living more from my heart than in my head. And the number one sign of where you're at, where you're living from, are your emotions. Are you anxious? Are you pissed off? Are you scared, nervous? Those are all the lower end of the vibration scale. And that's fear is all created in the mind. So that means you're not living it in your heart. And all of those negative emotions, I don't mean negative in a bad way, because there's no bad emotions. They're just not positive emotions. Those all indicate fear. It's just not living in your heart, not trusting, not being love, not feeling love. And so that being said, that's the higher end of the scale: peace, love, joy, wonderment, and those are all from when you're in your heart, and you can just be open and trust and love. And I get it, sometimes some things happen where you can't be that way, but the more you do this, the more you're able to be like that more of the time. And the more you practice being in your heart and being present, the less those big situations are going to take you out and throw you right to the bottom end of the vibration scale, where you get angry and pissed off and you yell and scream and whatever it is. Or even if it's a subtle shift where you just don't feel comfortable, you start to go in the future a little bit about something. The more you can practice just being present, I promise you, the more you will have control of your life and how you feel. And it's funny that the more you let go of control, the more you actually gain control of your life. And I'm someone, I promise you, I try to at times control every little detail because I don't feel safe. I need to know exactly what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, and plan everything out so I can get it all done and be seen as good and perfect and not judged. And man, is that a stressful way to live. So if you can just take a step back, I encourage you to try the meditating in the morning and at night. And if you don't know how to meditate, it's very simple. There's a lot of apps out there you can download, or if you have a heater going or a fan going, you just sit there and close your eyes and listen to it. And your mind will wander. It'll go off to something, or this is stupid, or how long do I have to sit here? And just keep bringing your mind back to that sound or your breath. And even if you get a couple minutes, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, or even if you can only do the pausing, that alone is huge in helping ground you and bring you back to the present moment, to now. Because in the end, there only is this moment. There is no past and future. When you think of the past, you're thinking of the past right now. And same goes for the future. So you're robbing yourself of the gift of the present moment by constantly letting your mind take you elsewhere because of these false beliefs of something that's going to go wrong or something that's going to happen to you when it's not true anymore. So I encourage you guys to try that out. And I know for a fact, if you stick to it, it's something that if you stick to, it will create huge positive momentum in your life, as I know it has for me. And I wanted to share that with you. So have a great day. Thank you.